Welcome to Breaking Solo, how solopreneurs break barriers, build brands, and embrace the future of business.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us again. I am really super excited to have Tim Jordan on the podcast today. Thanks so much, Tim, for joining us.
Happy to be here. I'm excited to talk about solo entrepreneur journey.
Awesome. So tell the audience who you are, what you do.
Yeah, my career has been as a serial entrepreneur. So I've owned everything from very, very small myself, right, solo entrepreneur, up to it is our biggest operation was the largest retail flower shop in the state of Colorado. It was a 100 employee company that was employee owned. Yeah, then everything in between. I started as a solo entrepreneur when I was in my early 20s. Came from a family of entrepreneurs. We we got a window tinting business is what we started with. Coincidentally, we've had a few exits, but I still own that window tinting business. But we went from there, and then we founded another home service company that was a mold remediation, really super niche down mold remediation business. And then, yeah, we eventually got into flower shops and ended up with a $5 million a year annual revenue flower shop.
Wow,
That all happened. That entire story happened from my 21st birthday to my 27th birthday. So
that's amazing.
yeah, yeah, it was a fast and furious time. God bless my wife. Um, right, she was along in all of that. She's a CPA and just a business monster in her own right. But yeah, anyway. So then I switched, right? That's when I had to get out of that operator mode, right? I call it operator mindset and ownership mindset. I had to be flipped to an owner mindset because I had worked my way into an executive at my own company, and I had to be a visionary. I could not answer the phone to take the flower order. I couldn't run every flower delivery. I couldn't go on all the window tint projects or mold removal projects. I had to flip that mindset from, okay, I was an excellent doer. Now I need to be a good leader and a good developer of systems. So we did that for 10 years. Private equity came in and bought us out of the flower shop. And from there, I started helping other service business owners break through that glass ceiling. And most, if not all of them, are solo entrepreneurs. Um, all of them have the businesses completely dependent upon themselves, and I help them kind of attain a mindset and that ownership mindset I referenced. But then we have to build a foundation of systems and also achieve some growth. We're not a marketing company at all at Service Catalyst, but there are marketing systems that are needed to grow your business, and the idea is to move the business beyond owner dependency. I love vacationing. I love traveling. And so I like to talk about it in those terms. But the reality is, it's way more important that if you get sick, if something goes really wrong in your life and you need to step away from your business, you have a business that can run itself. The people and the systems within it can keep it going. So that's what Service Catalyst is. We're a peer-to-peer mentorship community online. Yeah, and so that's kind of where we're at. I'm still also running SG Window Tint, my first business that I was the solo entrepreneur at. It's much larger now, and it's a passion of mine. But yeah, that's the abbreviated version of my story.
That's a nice journey.
It was a fun time. It was fast and furious for sure.
Awesome. So tell me what's been your biggest challenge and how did
Um,
you
I,
overcome it?
Yeah, I think, especially in light of the period of my time where I was a solo entrepreneur, my biggest challenge was attracting customers. It was lead generation. We did window tinting at that time, at least in a completely different light than most people are aware of. We did commercial residential window tinting, actually. So we tinted homes and businesses, not cars. So that became an education game, and it was really, really hard to do because if we would go out and advertise anywhere using the words window tint, 90% of the traffic was around cars, and I couldn't afford to pay for, only, having 10% qualified leads. So we had to get really creative, I guess is maybe the right term, with how we found a way to educate people about the product that we had to offer, since there was kind of this dormant demand for it, but then also where are the different areas we could find them. It's interesting. I haven't thought a lot about like how did I overcome that. It was really hard um, at that time, for sure. It didn't feel like I was growing. It didn't feel like I was overcoming it. It felt like I was spinning my wheels. But how I overcame it was just trying everything, right? Just trying every different avenue, learning as much as I could. I mean, at the end of the day, I became kind of a digital marketing expert, if you will, and just by trial and error and persevering. I think I say this a lot, that the difference between a successful entrepreneur and every other person in the world is when they start building something, it's always hard. It is always hard to build something. The successful entrepreneur perseveres, pushes through.
Yeah. Just keep on keeping on.
So it doesn't sound like sage advice, but it really is in a lot of ways. I mean, building is always hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. But it's also exciting and fun and, all of those things kinda come in the mix too.
Completely agree. The wins feel so much more worth it when you have put in that time. Also, your skills grow, right? I just said that. Like I this struggle, had to push so hard into digital marketing. I became if so facto digital marketing expert, which was served me in every other portion of my career. So the process is valuable. It just sometimes it feels lonely and frustrating, and like you're taking 2 steps forward and 12 steps back, and all of those things that you realize in retrospect, but in the time of the pain, they
Not so
just
good.
pain. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. So, how did you go so I typically ask, my guests how they found their niche, but you've had a couple of them.
Yeah.
So, tell me about that.
Yeah. So interesting. I love that question, by the way, because I think if I look at my story, I have three different niches, right? Commercial, residential, window tinting. I found that through happenstance. Somebody brought the idea to me. I looked around and I said, you know what? I think I can have a competitive advantage here by uh, business school background, CPA wise. I had some professional advantages that my competition didn't really have that caused me to want to dive into that niche. Um, so that's one way. Yeah, we fell into a flower shop, and so that was kind of stepping off of a cliff, right? We were enamored by the gross profit margins and a few of the bit on the business side of things. There was also in some real estate that we could purchase, so there was attractive reasons to buy the first flower shop. But why we ended up with the largest flower shop in Colorado is because it became a passion. It only took like 2 weeks. We loved the employees. They felt they had a passion for the business and for what they were doing for their customers, like nothing I've ever seen to this day. The product is phenomenal. It's fun to be around. The there's a lot of opportunity. There is still a lot of opportunity for automation and tech improvement. So we had uh, a scaling up advantage there as well. So that's that's how we found those. Then honestly, our most niche business was Mold Removal Express, that we exited actually about a month ago. Um, and super niche. We Not restoration. We only help people with a mold contamination in a non-insurance event. Okay, so this is typically home inspector finds mold in a poorly ventilated attic. That is not a insurable event, and that has to be rectified before the home is sold in 99% of situations. So found problem, found solution. It just, I mean, it's, I think, I guess at the end of the day, that's really what it is just identifying problems and how can you truly solve a problem in a way that is valuable to the a potential consumer base.
That is absolutely all it is. Identify the problem, find a solution, and go out there and perform.
Yeah, as your network grows and you get a little bit of a reputation, as being a successful solo entrepreneur, you'll see more of those problems. At least in my experience, those problems were brought to me by other people in a lot of instances. But I had because I had a reputation of um, running a window tint business that at least appeared to be apparently well ran. Who knows? Some days well ran, other days not. But that's just how it goes.
Great. Okay, so tell me what trends do you see that solopreneurs should be aware of right now?
Ooh, that's a great question. I got a couple thoughts on that. One is the whole AI takeover going on right now, and there's a lot of things around that. How many jobs is it going to replace? There's a lot of new ventures out there that are at least marketing to me as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure all of your audience of AI lead generation and customer service via AI and all of that stuff. I think solopreneurs should be um, cautiously educating themselves about how AI fits into their business. It's really cheap and easy right now for people to make an AI bot and to claim that it does something. And I think there are really very few of them at this moment. It's going to evolve and get better and better all the time. But at this moment, I think there are very few of them that are kind of breaking the equation and this magic bullet for you. Um, I would be very cautious of customer service via AI. I mean, it's one thing to have a chatbot that somebody knows is AI on your website. It's another thing to have AI talking to your customers. Our ad agency just ran a reasonably successful AI chat outreach. I'm sorry, AI text outreach. Um, and honestly, it was pretty messy. There were a lot of things I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't know to not send a review request to this person that's cursing at them. That's a problem. I just got a 1-star review because of that. And I take that very seriously. So I think you have to cautiously educate yourself about AI. And now that's not to say that I'm anti-AI. I am not. ChatGPT's up on my computer right now. I dictate to it all the time. I think um, it's just there's not a lot of talk about the quality of the AI output is only as good as the input. So us as humans, as entrepreneurs, as solopreneurs, we can get a tremendous amount of value researching, writing, creating stuff from AI, but we still have to give it high quality inputs and refine to be able to get a good output. So that's one trend that I think solopreneurs should be aware of. Another thing I see going on right now is it's kind of a weird year from home services, maybe a weird couple of years for home services between interest rates and some socioeconomic uncertainty. I see nothing but blue skies ahead for home service businesses. So if you're a home service solopreneur, just put your head down. This is one of the more challenging times, but just keep building a strong foundation. And as some of this stuff calms down, that foundation you built is just gonna reap its rewards even more than it will right now.
Great advice. Great advice. Okay, tell me what's one tool, app, or resource that you absolutely can't live without in your business?
I have the perfect one. Review Harvest. I love this review gathering software. So I found it because of Mold Removal Express. One of the hardest things we had digital marketing wise for that company was nobody wants to talk about mold in their home. So really hard to get reviews, right? So We're Jobber users. I'm sure a lot of your audience is home service to Jobber, Service Titan, House Call Pro, all very similar. They all have their own review request system. I was having problem. It just wasn't producing anything, so I asked in one of the Facebook groups for Jobber how people were having success getting a higher volume of reviews. To a man, they all came back and said this unique, small little software called Review Harvest that if you message them today, Clay, the original founder, will message you right back. And it's their whole shtick is they automate with all of these systems, pretty much any system they can automate with. They pull after a job the client's information. They have a picture that you've taken of yourself or maybe your technician or whoever it is, and they put the customer's name on that picture and they text it once or twice with a review request. That took our review conversion rate from like, I don't know, 3%, 4% to I get 30 to 40% of my projects leave 5-star reviews now. It has completely changed our business. We
It's
installed it
amazing.
for unbelievable. We installed it for SG Window Tint like 3 months ago. We had a month where 60% of our projects resulted in 5-star reviews. I'm talking like 75-star reviews.
Wow.
Unbelievable. So, Review Harvest, they're amazing. Can't live without it.
Good to know. All right. I get I was just talking to a client yesterday about reviews. I need to remember to tell them that.
I can send you a link for it. Honestly, I'm telling everyone about it just because I've only used it for maybe the past 9 months or so. But it solved that problem for me entirely. Like I don't even have to. We used to track that as a KPI. How many inbound 5-star reviews? We don't even track it anymore. We took it off the list because we're getting so many. Google, if you get such a volume of reviews, Google stops sending like one-off notifications. Our notifications are coming in instead of you got a 5-star review. Congratulations. Yesterday was you got 4 5-star reviews. They're batching the notifications. We're getting so many of them, which is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So you're a busy man. Tell me what daily habits or routines help you to keep focused and productive.
Yeah, I love this because that's something that I kind of inadvertently adopted in my late teens when I was trying to figure out how to work and go to college, and um, yeah, it's changed my life. First of all, I'm up an hour before I need to be. And for me, this is really crucial, but you have to have something that you do in the morning that's productive, that is structure for you. For me, that looks like clearing my emails. So I have 4 email inboxes, right? And I get to see maximum of about 2 emails in them every single morning. Um, that keeps me very predictable. Like my anyone working with me, if they send me an email, they get an email back within 24 hours. So that layer of communication gives them a lot of trust in me. Um, Also my team, right? Now I'm not a sole entrepreneur, I have a team. I tell them, right? When you come on as a team member, I set that expectation. Hey, you can always call or text me, but if you need something via email, know that I clear my emails every single day. So you will get an email back from me within 24 hours max. And it sets an expectation for them. So that change just it changed how I was perceived. I think is actually really what it changed is um, there was just more trust across the board. I'm also a big believer in exercising. I'm in a few like focus groups and masterminds with people way more successful than me. Every single one of them exercises every day. So I decided to kind of make that a part of my routine probably 2.5, 3 years ago. And it's super helpful. It's nothing crazy. 20 minutes on a stationary bike every morning. And I get on it kind of sometimes clenched up about the day of all the meetings or all the whatever that's going on for the day. Within 10 to 15 minutes, there's just clarity. It's stress your body to make your mind clear. So those are the things that I do every day.
That's awesome. Good for you. And you're in how many masterminds?
A two,
Okay. That's
and
still a lot.
they're less formal than no, one's really formal, I guess. One is less formal. It's been going for 30 years here in my local town, and it's all of these. Again, I'm the youngest. I'm 37. I'm the youngest by probably 8 years or more in it, but which is the perfect room to be in, right? It's all these successful entrepreneurs who are steps ahead of me as in family as well as business. So I I take a lot of notes. I'm not a big note taker, but I literally have on my Remarkable a probably a 300-page long notebook about from notes from those meetings.
That's great. Okay, tell me what's one piece of advice that you'd give someone that's just starting their solopreneur journey?
Yeah, um, know your numbers. That took me 15 years to figure out. Um, Especially early on, it's not fun to know your numbers or to look at your numbers regularly because sometimes they look great and sometimes they look awful. But I have two specific habits that I swear by, and I think it's really hard to run a business that is 100% dependent on you. Without that, which I know as a solo entrepreneur, that's not what you're doing, but that's what most of us are building for, right? That's the goal that most of us have. So one is a weekly scorecard. This comes. I wish I could have said I invented it. I did not. It comes out of the book Traction. Very well known. Uh, System called the Entrepreneur Operating System. One of the components of it is a weekly scorecard. It is 3 to 5 key numbers in your business, and you track them every week. You sit down and you look at them every week. I prefer to compare them against a goal and against year over year data if I have it. That's not always doable, but if it's just you, it's just you. If you have a little team, you sit down with other members of your team and you look at them every single week. And um, it can become a chore, but the reason that it's so valuable is it quickly identifies issues and opportunities, right? If for me, my KPIs right now are lead volume, last week's revenue, last week's average sale, and then I have an employee component of who sold them, basically. And I get not only do I have such a great understanding of what happened last week, and I get to distill it down. I know the size of jobs, the type of jobs, the number of jobs, but I also that inbound lead component is really, really important because then I also know kind of a predictive future um, concept. So I'm what I'm doing is I'm looking for red flags, either problems or opportunities, things that are working really well that I can push further in. But you have to know your numbers. The second part of that is a monthly profit and loss statement analysis. I'm married to an accountant, so I was required to do that by marriage. I think it was in our vows, probably. I was required to do that, but every single month, second week of the month, I sit down and I look at my P&L, good or bad. They're bad sometimes, right? And it's not always good, and it's not fun when it's not good. Don't get me like I'm not trying to blow smoke. It's rainbows and sunshine here, but I can't fix it if I don't know. Like if I don't know what's going wrong in the business, I can't fix it. So that's really, really crucial. Um, and what I get a little bit of pushback from on people that I help is I don't have a P&L on a monthly basis. Well, that's not an excuse, that's a problem. So maybe that's step one of this conversation. If you don't, even if you're just using like a simple Excel spreadsheet or something like that, or if you have a bookkeeper or you're doing QBO yourself, there's no way you're gonna shortcut so much time of running a profitable business by taking the time to put that P&L in place and analyzing it. But knowing your numbers, gotta know your numbers. I hear this like, oh, I know I'm the only one doing it. How would I not know my numbers? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying take the time to look across all of the numbers, not your one top line revenue or I have 8 jobs this week or whatever it is. Know the numbers that are crucial to your business that aren't reflex. They will become reflex, but
Yeah, good advice. Okay, so I normally ask at this point what exciting projects or launches that you have coming up, but you have a community that I'd love for you to share a little more with the audience about.
and it's a really exciting project. It's Service Catalyst. You can see on my hat. Service Catalyst was born out of a heart posture of wanting to help other service business owners. So as I exited the flower shop, I had a lot of time on my hands. Right, I just sold a business that I was working in 50 hours a week. Yes, I had other businesses, but that's a pretty big vacuum to fill. And one way it was filled was friends and friends of friends and contacts just saying, "Hey, Kelly's interested in starting a business or started a business 2 years ago and is struggling with A, B, and C. I told them, a little bit about your story. Would you sit down and have coffee?" So that's what I did. I over and over, meeting after meeting after meeting. I said no to nobody, and I loved it. I love it, not loved. Absolutely love it. The impact. My experience as an entrepreneur started so young, 2021, that a lot of the things are reflex to me. That's just how I operate because I didn't learn them after having a career. I learned them as I was growing up effectively. So I never, the idea of coaching, the word coaching kind of makes me a little, or myself as a coach, but that's effectively what I was doing was just informal coaching for helping people just shortcut some of the pain that I'd had throughout the years. So after a while of that, I said, boy, I would really like to do this more formally. But the folks that I'm working with, they're 100,000 to 1.5 million. They're mostly solopreneurs or solopreneurs to small team members. Whatever it is, they've hit the glass ceiling of they have a profitable business, and it's successful, and that's just so hard to do in and of its own right. But it's entirely dependent upon them. So if I like to frame it in the context, I think I said earlier, of going on vacation, but worse than that, if we get sick, if something worse happens, the business just grinds to a halt and doesn't operate, certainly doesn't operate effectively. So how do I wanted to help people in that state get the right mindset, put systems, a foundation of systems in place, and then have a system of growth to have a business that's not owner dependent. So that's the idea behind Service Catalyst. Service Catalyst is a peer mentorship community. It's online. It has a component of education, a free masterclass. You don't have to be a part of the community, but just a masterclass that level sets a baseline of what type of systems and mindset you need to have in your business to move beyond owner dependency. The magic happens in the discussion. There's a constant discussion of themed, thought-provoking questions, but then also just members saying, Amos Baldwin asked yesterday, hey, he's a detailer, right? He owns a detailing business. And he said, I'm heading into my slow season. I have a couple ideas. Here's a couple ideas I have on how to drum up some business. What are your guys' opinion? Give me some feedback. So then people just start hopping in and commenting on that. So there's peer mentorship. There's this group of people talking to one another about it. And then we have weekly live sessions, a couple weekly live sessions that are optional, Zoom kind of thing. It's within our platform, which is really nifty, but a Zoom kind of thing that has a themed component. Today's about, we have ours this evening. It's about consistency and leadership. But then there's also there's 2 or 3 other service business experts alongside of me that are facilitators, and we're there. And the members just ask questions. They celebrate wins. They talk about transparently about some losses. They try to brainstorm ideas, it's a community of small service business owners that are just trying to have the right mindset, have the right systems, grow their business so that they can have the freedom that we all envisioned when we started on our entrepreneurial journey. One of my big parts of this, because I could have started like a group coaching program or consulting business or something like that. The people that I'm working with don't have or don't want to spend $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month on a group coaching program. It's attainable, right? The Service Catalyst is $70 a month. You get so much more than that out of it in the first couple of days just through basic coaching. I didn't mention, we have tons of resources. Google Business Profile template is probably one of our biggest things, how to optimize and really dominate on your Google Business Profile. We have accounting function templates. We have strategic partnership outreach guides, all kinds of stuff. Little mini courses on how to put a scorecard system into your business. So it's $70 a month is money, right? And it's one more subscription. It's not $1,000 for a big group coaching program, but we're trying to deliver 10 times the value, and I think so far we have. And yeah, so now it's just about communicating that message. I found that I get a little bit lost in the noise of coaches and coaches, even marketing companies that'll promise a double your revenue in 90 days, and that is just not what we are. We are altruistically trying to help the service business owners so that they don't burn out. Burnout isn't a common word associated with entrepreneurship. I think we're too proud as entrepreneurs, but that happens all the time.
Yeah, it
I
does.
talk I talk to so many people that they wake up one day, they realize they're stuck in their business. They own a job. They don't have a way out. They just and they don't know the first steps. And yeah, it's gut wrenching to me. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, some successful, some really not. And I just want to help as many people as we can avoid that. And a community is the best way that I knew how to do that. And the other thing that I've come to realize is just how lonely entrepreneurship can be, and just having a conversation with somebody who knows what you're going through can be so earth shattering. Can just be
Yeah.
such an unlock. Also, I run a service business to this day, so I'm not also standing up in front and saying, "I sold my business 5 years ago. Let me tell you how to have a seven-figure." That's just not it. We're asking each other questions. We're learning from each other. I learn more from helping other people than I do from you know asking them questions and helping them. So anyway, that's Service Catalyst. Thank you so much for asking. Um, it's I believe in it, and
You hear
I'm
the passion in your voice.
yeah, yeah. So it's fun for me to talk about. It's really, I'll say one more time, it's really hard in like short form content because it does just we get caught up in the noise of all the business coaches out there, and AI coaches. Gosh dang it, going back to the to the AI discussion previously, but that's just not who we are. We're a real community of real people who really want to help and be accessible.
That's awesome. All right, tell the audience how they can connect with you and learn more about you and what you do.
Yeah, I'm LinkedIn is my main platform, so I'm Tim Jordan CO on LinkedIn. Love to connect with you there. Also, if you hop over to Service Catalyst, you probably the easiest way to get to know what I'm all about is to sign up for the masterclass. It's free. You literally just put your name and email in and watch a couple of the videos. They're super short. They're like I think the longest one's 13 minutes. Most of them are 8 to 10 minutes. There's 8 of them. They start around planning and mindset. and they kind of end around growth and marketing and those types of things. But hop over to Service Catalyst, check out the free masterclass, see if how I talk about things, my philosophy resonates. I'd love that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. It has been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit and learn about your journey.
Donna, I appreciate also you have a great way of kind of digging just a little bit deeper, but still keeping this nice and efficient. So I really think this is amazing. You're doing amazing work for your audience.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. Okay, audience, if you have not given us a review yet, what are you waiting for? Go to Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and leave us a review. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next time.